What's going on, sports fans, and welcome to Monte Vista, aka Monarch Territory. I am Christian Pedersen. This is Noah Laxina. That's Tommy Morris. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Terrell Kyle.
Terrell Kyle is part of the. You're supposed to do the whole thing, man. I'm defending Division IV champion Terrell Kyle. Man, these kids out here, they're too humble for the amount of rings and blings and all that thing they got. So we're back with more football, all sorts of football, greatest RBU that possibly will ever happen, because even this guy looks like a freaking ant at the end of that interview. Yeah. All sorts of goodness. But after week one, guys, I think that this was about what everyone was doing with their top 10s. So we decided to get back at it and find more ways to troll you guys and piss everyone off. Tommy, would you like to read off this week's brand new top 10 rank?
Yeah, top 10 big shakeup, and I'm going to be really excited for later when Christian needs that piece of paper that he just ripped in half. Here we go. Get some tape out here. Number 10, we have Ramona. Number 9, Mission Hills. 8, Cathedral, falling down to number 8. 7, we have San Marcos. 5 is Helix. 4, Carlsbad, jumping all the way up there. 3 is Madison. 2, LCC, after a very impressive win. And our number 1 team in San Diego County right now, the Torrey Pines Falcons.
Ooh! No, Tommy, keep that and start with your game balls.
I'll go with my game balls. So, every week we'll do this. We'll mention some kids. I've got 3 this week. I've got Mateo Sinui. Had to practice that name. Hopefully got it right. 186 rushing yards for Valley Center and 6 touchdowns in the first game of the season. Heck of a day. I've got Daniel Belton from Southwest San Diego. 169 rushing yards. What happened?
I was just looking for tape, man. I can't find it. I'm legitimately trying to read my game notes, and I'm just...
Hey, it was worth the visual. 169 rushing yards. Hey, good luck, Christian. 4 touchdowns for him. And Eric Gonzalez, I'll bring up a defensive guy. He had 2 sacks for Mira Mesa. Also, watch The Grind. Mira Mesa episode 2 coming soon.
That's not called a shameless plug at all. Noah, you want to give out some game balls?
Yeah, definitely. First game ball I want to give to Carson Lippert. His team, LCC, had a big win against Cathedral, and Carson Lippert had the game-sealing touchdown against a tough Cathedral defense, so I got to give him a game ball. That takes a lot of heart. Kenyon Williams from Kearney. Shout out Coach Verlaine. He had 5 touchdowns in the season opener in a shutout win blowout, so got to give Kenyon Williams some credit for that. Jack Bosman, he hit 2 field goals. He pinned.
Oh, Noah's talking about kickers in week 1, baby.
He pinned my alumni Olympian Eagles inside the 5 twice in punting, and one of his field goals that he made was in overtime to win the game. So to be a lower division school, face an upper division school, you hit a game-winning field goal and you're punting bombs all day, you got to get a game ball. And then Mr. Daniel Stokes. Stokes was playing quarterback, receiver. He had a 40-yard catch at receiver. He had a read option for a long touchdown. So he just took over in a game where you have star-studded athletes like Keenan Christian. He was still able to, shine and get his numbers. So I got to give him a game ball. And then that's it.
I mean, I'll try and work my way through it. I wrote something about Carlsbad in the middle of this page.
It says Ramona.
Yeah, Ramona. They got a shutout W over Modern Day Catholic. Ramona and I think there was some questions. They were losing Tristan Stacy. They were losing some pieces from last year's championship, but Derek Diamond moved in, and that offense just clicked immediately. Go figure that baseball players are athletes. Who knew? Want to throw out a huge one for Morse, 39-0 over Mount Miguel. I know Mount Miguel is still a program that's building up with Coach Starr, but there was some expectations that Mount Miguel might be a little bit of something. Morse and Shamar Martin out there just, that's it. That's a big one. Like you said, Kearney with that big win. Del Norte, guys, they are a team that I have right now as the don't be surprised when they're 7-0. They're the 1 win over Fallbrook. I know that that's not necessarily like, oh, they upset somebody from Southern Section, but Del Norte is a sleeper team, and I think that first win of the season shows it. Toss one out, Granite Hills for a narrow win over Poway. Carlsbad and Christian also getting very, very impressive, like table setting. Might need to think about them for a top 10 vote later on in the season. I don't even know what else I wrote on that. Yeah, you want to ask him about a game ball from his team?
Yeah, Mr. Kyle, who played well from Monte Vista?
Yeah, give us the week 1 recap, man.
We went out and we played as hard. We've tried to do everything right. We still made minor mistakes and stuff that we have to fix. That's why we're out here right now. And we're just ready to go at it next week.
Who you guys got coming up this week?
We got University City.
Give us a little bit of that preview.
See, all right, so they've been gunning for us, and they want us, they want our score.
Well, you played them twice last week,
yes.
or last season. You played them in the regular season, then again in the playoffs. So there's a little bit of history here.
Yes.
What are you guys looking forward to this week?
We are looking for a win. they're obviously looking for a win too. It's just going to come down to whoever plays the best and makes the least amount of mistakes.
So far, you're going to have a great media career. You know exactly how to play it right down the middle. Thank you for not being a hot take artist. That game aside, you want to do some game picks with us? You cool to stick around for as long as you have to avoid running? I saw that run in the background. I was like, yeah, nobody's trying to do that right now. So guys, I thought week 1 was big. Or week 0. I'm so confused. Week 0, week 1. None of this makes sense. The season started. School hasn't. But guys, that wasn't even like the biggest week yet. Nope. This week is now officially the biggest week of games we've had this season. First one that we have to talk about, because this one got called out at the SDFNL scrimmage, is when Jaden Wickware said that San Diego is gunning for a piece of Lincoln this year, which I think that would change the landscape of high school football right now a little bit if San Diego was able to get that dub. That game is happening this Friday night at San Diego. Tommy?
Yeah.
I don't know why I looked at you and said Tommy. Yeah. Tommy,
I want to give some credit to San Diego here for scheduling this game. This is a tough game. It's an ambitious. People are saying they didn't have a long schedule last year. They do this year. They have Lincoln. I'm going to take Lincoln, but I respect the fact that San Diego took this game.
Yeah, same thing. Jaden Wickware, you know, Jaden Wickware is an athlete. They got
Raiden Hunter.
We got Raiden Hunter, former RBU candidate. You know, so they're gonna have weapons, but I just think that Lincoln's gonna, you know, rough them up a little bit, and they're gonna get the dub.
Look, guys, Lincoln 66-0 in that first game of the season, and that's hard to go against. Like that is all cylinders firing. I'll say this though, that of all the games that we're going to talk about this week, this one would be the least surprising of an upset to me, because I think that these are two teams whose skill sets match up exactly perfectly. There is parity along the schemes and the concepts and all that. What do you think?
I definitely think it's going to be a good game.
And if you have friends on either team, you don't have to pick.
No, I don't have any friends.
None of us do either. That's what, these are my friends.
That's right. No, but I definitely think that it's going to be a good game and that they're definitely going to play hard. I know that we went against them last year in the championship, and that it was a game. Not even getting into that, but I definitely think they're going to give them a match.
Look, you can say what it was. It was Jamon McClendon being historic. Like you probably could have put last year's Cathedral team out there, and it wouldn't have been too big of a difference in results. Like that's how good Jamon McClendon is. Next game, guys, Point Loma versus Ramona. Point Loma, narrow loss to El Camino in week 1. Ramona blowing out Modern Day Catholic. Noah, we'll start with you.
This is going to be a very close game. There are going to be two teams that play hard. It's going to battle to the end, but I think Point Loma is going to bounce back and get a win this week.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take Ramona. Ramona, we talk about this all the time. They're kind of far away from everybody, so no one really gets to see them. And then they come into the city and blow everyone's minds, basically. So I got the Bulldogs.
I got nothing.
Deal. Fair enough. Man, a few words. Guys, I think that Point Loma is a team that will be the, if I'm just making these broad spectrum, previews, I think Point Loma is going to be the best team with the worst possible record by the end of the season. They just have a very, very tough schedule, and this is part of that tough schedule. Week 2, you're playing a Ramona team that is already clicking, and Ramona's going to get that dub. Next one, Oceanside versus Westview. Oceanside's back a little bit. Westview's always kind of lurking as that team that will somehow find a way to beat somebody. You got anything on this one? I heard an ooh.
I don't know. I don't know much about Westview.
I don't think anybody. I think literally nobody does.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what to say. I'm gonna have to look at what happens.
Fair enough.
I'm going to go with Oceanside here. They challenged themselves week 1. They played San Clemente. They had to go north, which they don't really ever have to do because they're pretty much as far north as it goes as far as San Diego is concerned. Played San Clemente, a really good team up there in Orange County. Didn't come up with a W, but it's a good game on the schedule to get ready, for the rest of the season. I got them over Westview. Yeah,
Oceanside was battle tested week 1, but I feel like this week, they're going to be more comfortable. They're going to get the win, and but shout out to Westview's they're a good team. They're going to shock a lot of people this year, but in the end, I got Oceanside.
I'll lean toward Westview on that one. I'm still not entirely sold on Oceanside. Last year was a very rough year from Oceanside, and that can be hard to bounce back from. Our last one, Grossmont versus San Marcos. Grossmont get that dub. San Marcos get that dub. Both of these teams, guys, they are on that 5 through 8 outside looking in type. They could be an open division team. They couldn't be really close. So I will start with this one, and I will say this: Grossmont's going to go undefeated and shock some people by the end of the year.
Wow.
I got San Marcos. They're a top 5 team on our list for a reason. I think they're really good. They've been good consistently for the last 4 years. I've got the Knights.
Yeah, first I want to shout out Grossmont's coaching staff. Their ability, put the athletes on the field. They lose guys every year, but they continue to just get that system right, and they follow that system to a T. I think they're going to put up some points this week against San Marcos for sure, because they got a great offense. But I just think San Marcos is going to pull it out the end.
I'm assuming you have no comment?
No, I don't know either of them.
Perfect. All he knows is scoring, and that Monte Vista is coming for theirs this week. Guys, this is the point where we now have to transition out and let Braden come at us with his stuff and the sided questions and the coaches' previews and all sorts of goodness for Inside the Huddle. So we're going to be back in just a few minutes, and you have to watch this week's RBU. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you in a second, sports fans.
How's it going, guys? Braden Sprennett here live, and while they're getting some more athletes, I'm gonna fill in right here and recap of what they did and fill in with what I got. So game ball wise, I'm gonna go with so 2 game balls. It's gonna be team oriented. Even though they both lost, they proved to me that they are gonna be contenders this year and gonna be big forces in the county. Give my shout outs to Oaktie Ranch and Rancho Bernardo. I think they had 2 hard-fought games, and I think they're going to be some teams that you should probably look out for. I was doubting both those schools earlier, and now I'm not. I'm a believer in those 2 schools. Those are my game balls. As far as the game picks are concerned this week, we got Oceanside, Westview. It's tough to go against Oceanside in their tradition, although they lost last week to San Clemente. It's a big team for them to play against. I'm going to go with Oceanside this week against Westview. And then we got Point Loma, Ramona. Point Loma had a hard-fought battle against El Camino. I think Ramona's better this year than they were last year. Ramona beat Point Loma last year. This time it's at Point Loma. It's going to be tough for me to pick the pointers in this one. I'm going to take the Bulldogs, and they continue their winning ways throughout this week. And then the big game of the week, Grossmont, San Marcos. Tom Carl's going to have his guys ready to go offensively. They're going to be able to trade some blows with another great offensive team up there at San Marcos with Coach Texler. These 2 coaches have battled it out in the East County before, but we'll see who has the better defense. To me, it's San Marcos. I'm going to go with San Marcos this week. Sided debate this week. We're gonna switch it with what the Inside the Huddle podcast was about, starting early. We got a week under our belt. We could tell that some of the teams that we've seen this first week were kind of a little sloppy because of the early start, and even the teams that were supposed to be really good teams this year came out a little flat, even though they got some wins. So, what is your opinion on starting early this year? Is it good for football? Is it good for San Diego CIF? Is it not? Be sure to check out our talk there on Sided and give your thoughts of what you thought about the first week and whether or not you're for or against the first week here in San Diego. As far as Inside the Huddle is concerned, with the podcast with the coaches, by coaches, for coaches, this week we're discussing what we discussed on Sided. You guys answered on Sided whether or not it's good for these schools to come out and play out a county and play out a section. You know what? We're going to ask some of these coaches that are doing it this year and one coach that is not. So we're going to talk to Rick Jackson. He's playing Vista Murrieta out of county, out of section this year. We're also going to talk to Coach McNeil up there at Carlsbad. He's playing Desert Ridge this weekend, a school from Arizona. So we'll see how those 2 teams do out of section. And you saw how we did out of section this past week. Helix struggled. Oceanside struggled. Lincoln, shout out to Lincoln for beating Bloomington by a lot of points. Good way to represent San Diego. We'll see how this goes. I forgot to pick the Lincoln San Diego High game. I'm going to pick Lincoln in this game. I think they're coming out hot. I think they're a top 10 caliber team, and look for them to have a big day on Friday against San Diego High. Guys, Braden Sprennett here filling in as you go get some athletes. Hopefully you're back now as I send it back to you.
What's up, sports fans? I'm here with one of the best running backs in San Diego County. He's a San Diego State commit, but right now he plays for Monte Vista High School. That's Jamal McClendon. Good to have you on the RBU segment. First thing I want to ask you, and I've been wanting to ask you this since I saw you in CIF last year. What was it like, in a championship game, crowds there, Southwestern College, big stage for everything, for you to just run all over the place in that game? How did it feel?
I mean, it was hard. It was pretty hard. It was hard I kept catching cramps, and I got tired. I got pretty tired, but it was awesome. The fans, they had gave me so much love and support, and just the team gave me so much support, helping out through me cramping, helping me off the field, helping me on the field. and everything, and the 8 touchdowns wouldn't be nothing if I didn't have my O-line. So I give it all to my O-line.
That's what I like the best. When you're a great player, you're a great running back, and you give the credit to other people as well. Because as a running back, it's not just you, it's everybody else, and for you to give credit to your lineman like that, that's a great thing that you got. And I wanted to ask, now, a lot of people say that was probably your breakout. That was your best game, easy by far, but a lot of people were sleeping on you before that. Now, week to week, everybody's like, okay, we have to stop him at all costs. We're going to stop him. How does that change how you prepare for each game?
It doesn't change for me. I come into every game the same way. What you want to come out with is the win and help the team out as much as possible. So I do whatever in my capability or in my body to help out the team in every type of way I can.
That's great. And another question I wanted to ask was, playing for a great coach. Not a lot of people get to say that they play for one of the, most experienced, legendary coaches in San Diego. What is that like, being a top athlete in San Diego, getting to pair with a great coach?
It's really nice. Ron Hamamoto, he's a lovely man, and he gets angry sometimes, and he's nice at times, but he's a nice coach. I really like him.
And you're going to San Diego State, right? But right now, you got high school football to focus on. Mm-hmm. How hard is it going to be every week to stay focused on high school football when you got state around the corner? And what do you think it's going to take to repeat this year?
It's going to take a lot of work because we're in a higher division, better competition. But if we just keep our heads straight and don't get big-headed and just keep going into every game, just 1-0 we got to be 1-0 every week. And if anything happens and we have a slip-up or something, we just have to bounce back and keep your heads on straight.
And last question, you display a lot of talents on the field, running fast, ability to shake defenders, run through defenders. What do you think your biggest attribute is? What's your best skill as a running back?
I would probably go with my power. That's my go-to, my power.
So power back, humble back, but still one of the best backs in San Diego. This is Jamal McClendon and Noah Laxina from RBU signing out.
Braden, Noah, you guys killed it. Thank you for your individual segments. You guys are Tommy, you don't carry this team quite as much as you think you do. Thank you very much for being on with us. Okay, show everybody. You see? They're doing work already. 1 week of the season, they're doing work already. Unless that was on the JV kids, in which case that's just not fair, man, that you're doing that. That'll do it for this week of the San Diego Prep Insider Football Show. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next Monday.